All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good evening and welcome. This is our third annual Lab Coat Induction and Award Ceremony. I'm Dr. Chris Powers, Associate Chair and Director of the program in Biokinesiology. The purpose of today's event is to welcome our new MS and PhD students to the scientific community. One of the distinguishing attributes of our division is the high emphasis we place on the integration of research and practice to advance human health and well-being. Indeed, one of the reasons our DPT program is continually ranked among the best in the nation is the fact that we have an exceptional research program. Students in our biokinesiology programs comprise the engine that drive our research enterprise. Students in the biokinesiology programs are dedicated individuals who are committed to advancing the study of human movement. Our master's and PhD students work in various laboratories within the division, conducting important research that provides the scientific foundation for the profession of physical therapy. Every fall, the division holds a white coat ceremony for our DPT students. The white coat ceremony was originally designed as a rite of passage for medical students, signifying their entrance into the medical profession. About 16 years ago, our division adopted this ceremony for our DPT students to mark their entrance into the profession of physical therapy. During the ceremony, a white coat is placed on each student's shoulders, and the oath of the physical therapist is recited. Historically, we have included our BKN students in the DPT white coat ceremony, but the tenor of the ceremony has always been geared more for our clinical program as opposed to our research program. Now, today, the purpose of the white coat in medicine is to protect the clinician and patient from cross-contamination. But of course, the white lab coat is used for the same purpose in the laboratory setting. In fact, the white lab coat is a quintessential element of the medical and scientific setting. Although most of the labs in our division do not require the wearing of a white coat, the white lab coat is symbolic of scientific rigor across professions worldwide. We all think of science in one form or another when we see a white lab coat. White lab coats signify professionalism, white lab coats signify competence, and of course, white lab coats signify status and excellence. For this reason, we have formally adopted the concept of the white lab coat ceremony for our MS and PhD students. Before we get started with the coating of our students, Dr. Carolee Winstein will come up and introduce our distinguished guest speaker.
Thank you, Chris. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce my former student and now colleague and collaborator, Dr. Shailesh Kantak. Dr. Shailesh Kantak is an associate professor of physical therapy at Arcadia University and an institute scientist and director of the Neuroplasticity and Motor Behavior Laboratory at Moss Rehabilitation Research Institute. After completing his bachelor's and master's degrees in physical therapy from Mumbai University, Dr. Kantak practiced as a neurologic physical therapist for 5 years before returning for his PhD in biokinesiology here at USC. During his PhD, he worked with myself and Drs. Beth Fisher and Kathy Sullivan to investigate the neural basis of motor learning and consolidation. The primary paper from his dissertation work was published in Nature Neuroscience in 2010, and that paper was accepted before he actually finished the PhD program. He went on to pursue 2 separate postdoctoral fellowships, the first at the Shirley Ryan Ability Lab formerly known as the Rehabilitation Institute of Chicago, and the second at the University of Maryland in Baltimore. Following his postdoctoral fellowship, Shalish joined Moss Rehabilitation Research Institute as an institute scientist. At the institute, he conducts NIH-funded research to understand the neurobehavioral basis of complex arm function and recovery after stroke. At Arcadia University, Dr. Kantok teaches neuroscience and neurorehabilitation content to physical therapy students. The students describe him as an inspiring professor who truly cares about their learning. And this was true way back when Shalish was a graduate teaching assistant here. He taught in the first semester motor development course. I distinctly remember the students rating his lectures higher than they did the faculty who taught in this course. And I was one of those faculty. Dr. Kantok is particularly passionate about translating the foundational sciences to clinical practice in physical therapy and rehabilitation. And I just learned last night that he is receiving the APTA Pennsylvania NeuroSig Award from the Pennsylvania chapter. So, Shalish.
Thank you very much, Dr. Winstein. That was a great honor for me that you introduced me. And it is a great honor for me to be standing here and speaking with you all and connect with my alma mater that I highly regard and love. So thank you. To the newly admitted students in the BKN program, would you please stand up? Wow, they're sitting in specified lines. Great. Congratulations. You may sit down. Congratulations, and welcome to the USC BKN family. I am extremely thrilled that you have taken this very important step in your career that will advance your career. I vividly remember that exactly 18 years ago, I was beginning my PhD in biokinesiology, and just like you all, I was sitting in one of those seats. I was excited to join the most prestigious programs and one of the best labs in the world to study motor learning in individuals with neurological disorders. I was also nervous. Being a foreign-born, internationally educated physical therapist, I was educated in India, and then closeted gay man, there were a lot of uncertainties and fears. I was also afraid of MATLAB, by the way. I was nervous, but excited. And the next 6 years at USC biokinesiology and physical therapy were some of the most fun and formative years of my life, where I learned a lot, I advanced my knowledge and skills, I developed my thinking, I developed my writing, and I also began to live and love my life as my own authentic self. So when Dr. Powers invited me to be a speaker at the Lab Coat Ceremony, I was thrilled. And then I pondered about what would I advise the newly admitted students. I reflected on my experience and decided on what advice I would give myself 18 years ago when I was starting this program, knowing what I know now. I have so many things, but I have narrowed them down to 5 pieces of advice. As a physical therapist, I was always told, do not give more than 3 to 5 exercises to a patient. And so I'm following that. 5 pieces of advice. Be inspired, be authentic, be open to challenge, be rigorous, and be fostering of relationships. So I'll elaborate on each of those. be inspired. So our society as a whole is beginning to acknowledge the importance of movement and exercise. Yet, if you really think about it, we know so little about the biological and psychological mechanisms of movement. And guess what? You get to be the one who can explore those mechanisms and understand these in the context of rehabilitation, which is absolutely inspiring in its own self. Yet sometimes you may lose the sight of this privilege. This indeed is a privilege that we can devote our time and effort to doing what we love and understanding these important mechanisms. But sometimes when you're in the rut of it, in your collecting your data, data for your PhD, or making a presentation, you may lose the sight of this privilege. And this is where the environment we are in matters. At USC, you are surrounded by outstanding faculty, scientists as well as clinicians, who are incredibly inspiring. Speak to any faculty here, and you can be nothing but inspired, not only today, but even when you leave USC. To give you an example, I am yet to meet someone like Dr. Beth Fisher, who can discuss intricate mechanisms of dopamine receptors in mice at one meeting, and then in the next hour go to a clinic and inspire a patient and get that patient who cannot even sit independently to walk down a walkway. This depth and breadth of knowledge across the translational continuum is inspiring to me even today. So you are in the best environment. My second advice to you and to myself 18 years ago is be authentic. Remember, you guys have been selected from many applicants, not because your grades were great or your letters of recommendations were great, but because the faculty thinks that your life experience, your thinking, your skills will add to the think tank at USC Biokinesiology. So try hard not to be a copy of anyone else, be it your mentor or your senior or another lab mate. Be authentic professionally and personally. And USC is the place to do that. When I came out to my lab and others in the department some 16 years ago, I was very nervous and scared. But I was welcomed and accepted and even celebrated with open arms. It is this love that has allowed me to thrive, and I'm always indebted to my USC family for that. It is your originality of thought, born out of your life experience, that is crucial to your success. Importantly, your degree is a part of who you are, and not the other way. So while you work hard towards your degree, live your life. Please do not press a pause button on your life. The third and a very important piece of advice is be open to challenge and communication. One thing that I will assure you during your graduate degree in BKN is that you will be challenged. You will be challenged to think beyond your limits. You will be challenged to communicate your framework, your rationale, your experimental designs, and your interpretations. And that is the essence of science. I have taken my data to Dr. Gordon so many times to only come out of his office an hour later with at least 2 completely different interpretations of my data. And that allowed me to either acknowledge my limitations of my research or design additional experiments that would change the course of my experiment. And I think that process is a lot of fun, and that process is essentially science. Be open to learning new skills. Remember my tryst with MATLAB? I was implored to take the plunge with it in Dr. Schweighofer's class. And thanks to him and his TA, Yuki, that I was able to gain some working skills of that. So please take on all the challenges with an open mind. Be open to change. Your experimental design will change in the light of the new findings. Be open to think of new interpretations of your data, sometimes even if it is different from your original hypotheses. Those are the best experiments. Those are the ones who land in Nature Neuroscience. And importantly, this flexibility of mind not only advances science, but it also makes you or helps you grow as a person. You're a better person because you can think in different ways, and you can change your mind in the light of the evidence. The fourth piece is you have to be rigorous. Be rigorous. With the privilege of being a scientist who creates new knowledge and the trust that the society puts in us, comes the responsibility of being rigorous and persistent in your science. This is one place where you should emulate your mentors. As a young PhD student, I was in Dr. Weinstein's office one day presenting my hypotheses. After I finished giving my pitch, she looked at me and she asked me a question. She asked me, "Are you convinced, young man?" I used to be young then. And that was a profound learning moment for me. In a sense, through that statement, she was asking me to be the first critic of my own research. And when I think about it, if you want to be a good scientist, you have to be able to critique your every step in your research. And in doing so, she was asking me to convince myself at each step so that my work is well thought, valid, reliable, and rigorous. That has been a motto in my research even today. Last but not the least, be fostering of relationships. Our quality of life is a reflection of our relationships. And graduate school and a career in research, be it in academia or in industry, is not an exception. I ask you to invest in relationships with these three classes of folks. The first one, those who are ahead of you, your mentors, the senior students in the lab. These people will give you the ropes for success. They'll give you advice about what worked and what doesn't, or what works and what doesn't. They will also challenge you. That is their job. It is their job to challenge you so that you become better, you grow. Second group is those who are with you, your peers. Your peers in the lab or across labs, they will nurture you, particularly when you are struggling, because they are going through a similar process, and they will make graduate school fun. Today, I don't remember the day my first paper got accepted, but I do remember the crazy day when I helped my lab mate move, and we got stuck on the 710 freeway because the U-Haul van broke, and we were asking strangers with a truck for a lift. You will have memories to cherish and laugh at. You will also collaborate with them beyond your PhD. Even today, I collaborate with Drs. Jill Stewart and Hui-Ching Go. Both of them graduated with me. We read each other's grants, we read each other's papers, and that is so important. And last but not the least, those who are behind you. Developing that relationship will make your experience more fulfilling as you get to be a part of someone else's success. You may not land on their manuscripts, but you will always have a special place in their hearts. So with that, be inspired, be authentic, be open to communications and challenge, be rigorous, and be fostering of relationships. I wish you all success and hope that your journey at USC Biokinesiology is as fun, fruitful, rewarding, and meaningful as mine, if not more. I wish you a lot of success in your life. Thank you.
So from that very inspiring speech, we have a little memento for you.
Thank you.
And Lydia wants me to go over here.
Thank you.
Let's give Shailesh another hand.
All right. So we are going to begin with the coding portion of our program. And we're going to start with the master's students. The master's program in biokinesiology prepares students to be research scientists in the field of biokinesiology. Graduates are conversant in all areas of biokinesiology and are able to conceptualize research questions across several levels of analysis. The sports science emphasis prepares graduates to apply physiologic, biomechanical, neurologic principles of movement to the assessment of sports-related activities. Graduates are able to integrate these principles with scientific inquiry for practical application across a variety of settings. At this time, I would like to call our students up to the podium.
So master's students up against the wall here. All right. All right, we'll start with Andrew Chow, Cal State University, Northridge. Brian Neff, University of Minnesota, Twin Cities. Sonia Lee, San Diego State University. John Wallace III, Virginia Commonwealth University. Shania Goldstein, University of Texas at Austin. Aaron Cagle, Florida Southern College. Sylvia Lipior, Wesleyan University. Breonway Williams. Sorry. Oh, San Diego State University. Sorry. Sarah Zong, Seattle University. Christopher Giza, Loyola Marymount University. William Brown, San Jose State University. Daniel Smith, University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. Kai-Ming Bao, Soochow University. So this year, we have 6 incoming students in our Doctor of Philosophy program. The PhD is the most rigorous of all academic degrees and is the highest academic degree offered by the university. The program prepares graduates to be academic faculty members and independent research scientists in the field of biokinesiology. Graduates establish and direct collaborative, interdisciplinary research programs. They will be trained to be leaders, scholars, teachers, and innovators in the field of biokinesiology. We will now present the PhD students who will be coated by their PhD advisors. Will the PhD students and advisors please stand up? Students line up on this side, advisors over here. Majid Abbasi Sasara, Sharif University of Technology. Advisor, Dr. Jason Kutch. No, Dr. Valera. Oh, is it Dr. Valera? He's not here today. Okay. Sorry. Tanya Subhash, Christian Medical College, Vellore, India. Dr. Schweighofer. Rukshana Pawadal, Faculty of Physical Therapy, Mahidol University, Thailand. Jacqueline Tafor Aviado, University of Rosario, Bogota, Colombia, and the University of Strathclyde, Glasgow, UK. Jayate Upadhyaya, Christian Medical College, Vellore, India. So congratulations to all of our new PhD students. So I'd like to invite Dr. Todd Schroeder up, who will now present a couple of awards.
So I get the honor of, there's 2 of you out there that will be receiving an award tonight. Who is it? We don't know. I get the fun of delivering that information. So the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Scholarship honors and acknowledges a student who demonstrates leadership in promoting social justice, diversity, equity, and inclusion across the division. The recipient of the DEI Scholarship Award is... Commercial break. Just got to wait. Malcolm Jones. doesn't know is there's a large check hidden behind him. Oh, you checked it in.
Congratulations. Oh, picture.
Oh, did you get it? Who's got it? And it is my honor to present the recipient of the Jacqueline Perry Scholarship Award. The Jacqueline Perry Scholarship was named in honor of Jacqueline Perry, a pioneer in the area of orthopedic surgery and rehabilitation, an emeritus faculty and member in our division. It honors and acknowledges a student in the Doctor of Philosophy program who has achieved candidacy and performed with high distinction in scholastic, clinical, and investigative work. This year's Jacqueline Perry Scholarship Award is awarded to Kaylee Sapanta. So Kaylee is not here tonight, unfortunately, so on behalf of Kaylee, I will accept the award and throw a large party for her tonight, and so she'll miss out on that. But congratulations to Kaylee. So, all right, thank you.
All right, we would like to thank you for joining us today to welcome our BKN students and our master's and PhD students into the Trojan family. This ends our lab coat ceremony. Please join us upstairs in the Rainbow Cafe patio, where our staff will direct you for some post-event refreshments. So please enjoy the rest of the evening.